So that's what I did. I went faster than I knew he could go. Welcome to Matt's Garage. You're watching Car Stories with Matt. So today's story took place last winter actually, and it involves a road rage incident which really got quite serious. And I don't know what's with drivers lately, because I am seeing a lot more road rage out on the roads. I have been involved in more road rage incidents, and I'm certainly not out there driving in a manner that I think would really instigate such actions. And in this particular story, there's absolutely nothing that I can think of that we did to the other driver to instigate any sort of actions. I'm thinking maybe this guy was just out bored or something, and just doing this for kicks. But anyways, what happened is we had to go up past Edmonton to get a car that I had bought, a 76 Mercedes 450 SLC, and it was a car I found on Facebook Marketplace, and it actually had no wheels on it. So even though I had arranged for a tow truck to move it home, I had to go up there and put wheels on it. And this was in the middle of winter, and the car was snowed in out in the middle of a field, so it kind of was an all-day ordeal getting this all done. And but it was a fun day, actually. I brought my son Nash with me, and my mom came along, and we just kind of made a day of it. When we were waiting for the tow truck, we went and got some pizza and everything, and just had a really fun day hanging out together. And tow truck showed up. The driver was really nice and made sure he got hooked up and everything. And then I said, okay, well, we'll hit the road just ahead of you. And I said, I explained where my shop was and everything, but I said after dark it's really hard to see my driveway. So I said what I'm going to do is just back into the driveway when I get there. I'll leave my lights on, so when you see that, you'll know you're there. And so it was vital that we ran ahead of this truck, but that wasn't a problem. I mean, he was only going to be doing the speed limit, so that's what we were doing, just running along at the speed limit. And we got to Drayton Valley, which was sort of like a halfway point, and stopped at a gas station for some snacks and used the washroom, and got back out on the road. And right away I noticed these really bright lights behind us, like not factory lights, but like those HID headlights or whatever, the ultra blue ones. And the guy seemed to be really getting up on us too, like we weren't going quick enough for him or whatever. We were just, still driving through Drayton Valley, kind of traffic light to traffic light, and traffic was heavy. We had traffic ahead of us, so there was nothing I could do about my speed. We just had to follow the traffic ahead. And so eventually it got to the point where we were on the outskirts of town, and the traffic ahead of us actually pulled off, and so we were clear sailing, and we had a turn right away to the right. So I figured, well, we'll just go down to our turn, and hopefully he goes the other way, and if not, he can pass us. And so we did that, and of course he followed us around the turn and was going the same way as us, but really kind of a deserted highway that time of night. Nice smooth straight road, so lots of room for him to pass us. And so I think initially we just kind of went the speed limit expecting him to pass us, and he wasn't. So I'm like, well, whatever, we'll take it up a notch and just do about 10 kilometers over the speed limit, which is pretty typical. So I did that. Set my cruise control. That's another thing to mention here. I was using cruise control, so it wasn't like I was ahead of him with my speed varying or anything like that that might upset him. But he did seem to be upset with us for reasons unknown to us, and he just kept on with the really bright lights and following way too close, and didn't seem to matter if we sped up or slowed down. He'd just match us. And so we tried to slow down quite a bit, I believe, and he didn't seem interested in passing. So my mom suggested, since we didn't want to get too far behind and have the tow truck catch up to us, and we thought since the road was pretty vacated, why not just drop the hammer for a minute, and we took it up to about 140 kilometers an hour, like 85 mile an hour, just for about 5 minutes, just to see if that would be enough to get rid of this guy. And it wasn't. He just he kept trying to stay with us, and no matter what speed we went. So then I actually tried to turn on the Mercedes, have the fog light on the back like most European vehicles, and so you just pull out your headlight switch and it turns on the left brake light essentially to illuminate your car in bad weather. You're only supposed to use them in low visibility conditions, but I figured that really bright light at the back would, if nothing else, keep him back a little bit, but it didn't. It enraged him, and he got twice as close as he was before. So at that point I'm like, well, this is, getting dangerous. So we pulled right over and pretty much stopped, and he pulled over behind us and pretty much stopped and refused to pass us. And finally, after sitting there for half a minute, he did pass us, but he swerved right into us as he was going by us, like almost hit the side of us. And so at that point we were getting more and more concerned about what this guy's intentions were. And then he pretty well stopped ahead of us and was blocking us and refusing to continue. And if I tried to go around him, he'd cut us off. I actually waited till there was another set of headlights present, so that if he tried something, we'd at least have somebody else there to witness it. And that time I really stepped on it and shot by him quickly and managed to get by him without incident. And from there, this was all recorded on my dash cam, and we had taken pictures of his plate with the iPhone and everything. So I figured, well, we got all the evidence to prove that we're being harassed and chased. So at that point we decided to just, the Mercedes didn't have a speed governor, and I knew this GM truck, it was a early 2000s GM 3/4 ton truck that was doing this to us. And I knew they're speed governed around 160 kilometers an hour, like 100 mile an hour. So that's what I did. I went faster than I knew he could go. We took it up to 175 kilometers an hour, around 110 miles per hour, I believe. And we did that for about 5 minutes. And we could slowly see his headlights kind of fade out behind us. It was actually a really hilly road, and so we could just, every so often we'd see his lights come over the top of a hill behind us. So we knew he was still there. And so we slowed down to about 140, 150 kilometers an hour, around 90 mile an hour for the rest of the trip, actually, because he was persistent. Even when we were way out of sight of him, he knew we were ahead of him, and there was like very few other cars on the road, so it was easy for him to know that those set of tail lights ahead of him were ours. And we didn't want him following us right back to my shop, of course, or anything like that, or even knowing what town we were from, ideally. So we really stayed in it, and even when we came back through town, we were as quick as we could safely go. And we did end up losing him, thankfully. And when we got to my shop, and we actually were in contact with dispatch with the tow company, really nice tow company, and they were updating us. And right when we got there, the driver was still over half an hour away, and he had, pretty well been right behind us. We made it unscathed, and luckily no encounters with law enforcement or anything. We did consider calling 911, but knowing where the police would be coming out of, it didn't make sense. By the time they got to us, we would have been, most of the way back to town. So we just decided to go for it on our own and hope that we didn't have any issues. I do hope you enjoyed today's car story. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourself a great day.